All right, so here comes the combat episode. So when we're going to go over some of the stuff here, I'm not going to go through a full combat, but you'll see. We'll open up slightly differently than we did last time, as we're not creating a new character. Good old, load screen stuff. So you'll see that we open up just a little bit differently as we already have characters, right? So we created them last time. So when you open up, you'll see them pop up. One of them will be allowed to be selected. Even if you own more than one, just open the PCs again and grab the other guy. So we're going to go with these two at the moment because, that's what I made them for. So now one of them is a more melee combatant. The other one is a more caster. And they are Draco and Cursive for no particular reasons. So these two are going to be our examples. So all we're going to need for this is the character sheets, the actions tab, and the combat tracker. I'm going to use the combat tracker just to demonstrate some things. You don't have to have it open. It's somewhat handy for the ones that they let you see. Let's do some quick buttons just so we're not bouncing around a bunch. Initiative is always a good thing to put on your bar. Just remember to update it when you level up if you've taken a feat or something. But then leave your sheets on the actions tab. This is where you should spend most of your time in combat. So first thing that's got to happen is we got to end up in a fight, right? So flipping over to the GM mode for just a sec, we're going to push the map. Now, if the fog of war is enabled, you'll see something like this, right? So you can't just see everywhere. But once you get dropped onto the map, now you can see what you're doing. So this has line of sight. Not all maps will have line of sight, but this one does. And these two guys are just going to be walking down this rainy, dark street. Poor guys. We'll increase their size just a tiny bit so they fit in the block. That can be altered by default, but whatever. So now that these guys are here, looking for a place to stay, of course, what do? Well, you don't let them have it. You put them in combat. All right. So on the GM layer, they can start the combat by throwing people in. And if you reveal them, so we're just going to straight up reveal all the bad guys right now, they'll show up on the map. Now, you might not necessarily see all the combatants, and only the ones that are revealed to you will show up on the combat tracker. So from here, we're going to need to get their initiative to see where they fall. And great, the demonstration will go pretty smoothly. They're top of the line. So it's going to go, Cursive's going to go first here. Now you'll see his sight changes. Now I have it on drag. It could be on drop, but as I move around, you'll see they disappear from his vision. You can't even see the fourth combatant as they are hidden from him. You can move your distances, rotate them just literally to turn the key. But let's measure some distances. See, all right, combatants are within 25 and 30 feet. This color is based off of your dice selection. I'm going to go to the palette here real quick, delete all, remove this one. If we go to the palette, you can just change this. Let's do amp up red just so there's some difference here. But whatever you select on the palette, all of your cursors and stuff will appear as, so that's handy to know who's measuring or whose cone or area effect is that. So now I can't start the turn from him. Jump over to the GM layer and go ahead and make the turn start. So now Cursive's up. Now Cursive himself is going to open with the traditional, caster move, which is hit as many bad guys as I can. So Ice Knife's the way to go. It's going to start with a single target and move on to multiple targets. Now we got to choose who that single target's going to be. All right, now both guys are within range of the spell. So when you do this, you can drag and drop. You can drag the tool over the tokens, or you can hold the control. If you're on Mac, it's the command key. If you hold that button and click on occultist, it'll select that individual. You can just click it again to remove it. So now that he's been selected, we can just click the buttons on the sheet. All right, now if we click the buttons, it'll roll against him. It says it hits. Now we can roll the damage, as that's the opening move for this ice knife. So now he's taken some damage. Now, We need to know who all else is going to be affected by the burst. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a circle and make it 10 feet. You might accidentally drag the screen from here and there, but let's center our position, and now everybody under the loop is going to get hit. So let's go ahead and select cultist number 3 as well. And the same thing, now that both of them are selected, it knows how to roll against them. The shadow dice represent the rolls. You will only see successes or failures if they hide the rolls from you. You won't see the roll itself, so you won't know what to add. Now they've both been hit. All right, so these guys are injured. They got hit by the spell. We can just delete all the cursors from here. You don't have to go find them. So that's his turn. Now, if we move the turn, it'll move on to Draco. You can't move the turn on enemies, so you know, no takebacks. Draco is gonna, of course, run to the guy within melee range. Now, this is the other tactic to go. You don't have to select them that way. What we can do is grab the dice and drop it on a token. And when you do that, it'll target that person. And so it says it hits, and now we'll throw damage. And this guy died. All right, well, so when they drop, you see his status changes on the sheet there. And also you'll see a little things. Yeah, he's not sleeping. So when they get hit, you'll see that little status change there. Now, that's his turn. And I'm going to show you one example of a cultist here. So I'm going to flip to the GM layer. You're going to just see them move because as a player, you're not controlling, GM is. And so they may give you the descriptive, like I'd say, the cultist bursts out the window and drops next to Cursive and swings with his scimitar. Nope, but you know, the crashing through the window threw him off. So now we're just going to do some stuff. I'm just going to show you some things. So this is looking at multiple targets. You can select multiple targets and it'll tell you who can be seen. That line of sight is dropping the third target, all right, as it's going beyond his ability to see. So that's kind of targeting. We can change the cursor types, like this guy can do a nice breath attack. I'm not sure strictly why he wants to do it into the wall, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. They can just be rotated, so you can change the angle, but we can make size differences and stuff here. Now, the targeting like this is nice for your GM, as you might not be able to see all the combatants, like we were talking about. There's invisible ones, non-revealed ones. So like if we have a big area, we can sweep out and the GM can select all the targets inside the area, even if you can't see them. All right, so when they do that, when you click your rolls or throw your dice, it'll roll against them anyways. All right, so let's talk about spells. Yeah, so there are a couple different kinds of spellcaster, prepared spellcasters, and you know, at will. If you're a sorcerer, everything's always, you know, available to you. But if you're some of the prepared spellcasters, you have to choose which ones you have at the ready. So this is just the standard view. We can flip it between prepared and combat, and only the spells prepared show up. If you want the spell to be broadcast, you can click the button over there and people can see what spell you're doing. Handy if you've got to do some measurements and stuff. Wizard guy over here, he needs to prepare some spells, so you'll see he doesn't have his level 1s available because we didn't select him to prepare. So if we go to prepare, we can just click on the left. Now for druids and clerics, you can throw the whole spell list onto your sheet and just only prepare the spells that you have at the ready. So it's kind of convenient. If you click the cast button, it's going to throw everything that's a roll. It just won't drop damage. All right, you have to click damage separately. So you can roll a whole spell if there's multiple sequences that way. And we're almost done. We should probably talk about the conditions. So you can get affected by different conditions. Some spells are going to apply them, and sometimes just things that happen as you go. So say Draco slips on the rocks and he falls prone, right? So he's prone until the beginning of his next turn. So people have advantage on attacking him. So what we're going to do is have cursive attack. No, No, not Draco. Sorry, we're going to have Cursive attack Draco. And you'll see he has advantage since he's prone. So swinging that way, it'll remember. Now everyone will get that advantage. Take some damage. Ooh, big one from the mage. So everyone will have advantage until it's his turn, and he stands up. However, for demonstration purposes, poor Draco stands up right into a poison dart. Now Draco's poisoned. Okay. Now, advantage and disadvantage will work itself out. So there's an unconscious guy right next to him. Draco angrily swings. He had both disadvantage and advantage. He just rolled normally. A nice crit against the already dead guy. But he's still poisoned. So we're going to move over to the not dead guy and swing at him with disadvantage as the poison remains. And he still hits this guy. So Draco's he's having a good day now. With this guy being injured, damage will probably knock him off. So Draco can be not poisoned anymore. We'll say it was super temporary, and he can go ahead and kill this guy. So you can remove those conditions when they happen available like that. Now, one more thing, we can heal too, right? Like that's an important feature. So Draco's got that ability. Can you heal from death? Of course, right? So let's grab our heal spell and drop it on the dead guy, and his condition's removed and he's healthy. So those word of heals are going to come into handy. All right, that's just about it on this. You can snatch anything and put it on the lower bar if you want. Maps might be reused, but most of the time they're not. That's about it. Next time we'll move into kind of Game Master stuff.